February housing numbers are out. Is it a buyer's market, seller's market? Which way is it trending? Let's dive in and find out. So, starting off with Broward County. So, we know transactions are down. That continues. So, down 3.5% from a year ago. Median sales price, we're finally in negative territory. So, the median sales price is down 2.4% from last year at this time, but actually it's down from January. January, we were sitting at 640,000 median sales price. So that's actually close to 5% reduction just from the previous month. But we do track this year over year, so down 2.4, but definitely something to keep an eye on. Active inventory up 37%, and month supply of inventory continues to tick up. This was about 5.1 last month, so now we're at 5.3, and that's up from 3.8 a year ago. All right, moving over to Dade County. So, Dade County, similar story. Closed sales are down 8% from last year, although dollar volume is up 24%. That's a pretty significant increase compared to last year. So, prices continue to go up. Dade County median sales price still hanging in there. It's 0.8% higher than a year ago. This is a little bit lower than last month. So, similar to Broward, we're seeing a downward trend. But from a year ago, Dade County is still at least in the positive. Active inventory is up 32% from a year ago, and month supply of inventory has jumped to 5.8. They are quickly approaching the 6-month mark. All right, then we go over to Palm Beach County. Closed sales down 1.7%, not nearly as bad as Dade County when it comes to number of transactions. Dollar volume is up, so that's a similar trend. Median sales price, though, out of the three counties, seems to have the biggest gain as far as year over year. Palm Beach County up 5.2% from the previous year. Active inventory is up, though, 24%, and month supply of inventory pretty similar, up 5.7%. So let's look at Florida as a whole here. So closed sales are down just over 7%. Dollar volume is pretty much even from last year. It's down slightly, 0.2%. Median sales price, no change from a year ago. So when you take the average of the state, we've had zero change when it comes to median sales price. Active inventory up 32%. We've seen that similar trend. And month supply of inventory is at 5.3 months. Florida as a whole, as you can see, month supply is a little lower than the Tri-County. Tri-County area is trending higher than that. All right, we move over to townhouses and condos. And as we know and have been preaching on here, this is a completely different market than single family. And there's a huge disparity as far as between a buyer's and seller's market. So I'm just going to say across the board in Florida, especially the Tri-County area, it's a buyer's market. So closed sales transactions really down, as you can see in the townhouse and condo, down 20%. Dollar volume, unlike the single family market, is down as well, down 18%. Median sales price down 5.2% from a year ago. Look at this active inventory and month supply. Active inventory up 43%, and month supply of inventory 11.4 months. Look at a year ago sitting at 6.8. That was considered a buyer's market a year ago. So we've been easily in a buyer's market for townhouse and condos for the last year. Moving over to Dade County, similar story here with the closed sales, the transactions, and the dollar volume is down. But look at median sales price. Dade continues to be kind of an anomaly when it comes to real estate, but up 8.3% from a year ago. This is because you do have some pretty high price condos in Miami that'll kind of skew these numbers. But either way, median sales price is up 8.3%. Active inventory, though, up 42%, and month supply of inventory even higher than Broward County. And just look at that a year ago, 7.8 months, obviously in a buyer's market, but now we're over a year, 12.6 months of month supply of inventory. That is a huge number. All right, in condo market in Palm Beach County, closed sales down, not as much, right, as Dade and Broward, down 6.9%. Dollar volume is actually up 6.3% in Palm Beach County, and median sales price is up 1%. So they're still hanging on into positive territory. Similar story, though, when we move over to active inventory, up 32%, and month supply of inventory has now gone from 6.3 up to 10 months. So they're the lowest of the three counties, but all three counties have a huge amount supply of inventory in the townhouse and condos. All right, we'll end it here with Florida as a whole for townhouse and condos. So we have closed sales down 13%, dollar volume down 12%, Median sales price is in the negative, down 3.1% compared to a year ago. Active inventory up 36%, and month supply of inventory is at 9.7 months. So obviously the Tri-County area, because we've seen, has definitely increased that number probably compared to other parts of Florida. But as a whole, there is definitely quite a bit of inventory out there for townhouse and condos. So this is a big buyer's market anywhere you pretty much go in this department in the state of Florida. So bottom line, once again, we're finally starting to see some prices decline. That median sales price has gone negative in some parts of Florida, but overall inventory is absolutely on the rise. You can probably get some really good deals between townhouse and condos in the state of Florida just because of the massive inventory that we have. So, say all this not to create fear. I say all this because this is great time for buyers. I understand that we are sitting with higher interest rates, but inventory and massive inventory is what brings home prices down. It not only brings home prices down, but it's your opportunity to negotiate. This is when you see price reductions and seller contributions. So if you're a buyer in the last year or two that has struggled to find a property because there just wasn't enough out there, lack of inventory, or prices were too high, you may want to consider getting back in the game because now you can find deals. There's plenty to choose from, and prices have come down. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Happy house hunting.